You want your summer to count, and we get that. I mean, you're investing 4 years in school to get a job, and once you get there, the question always is, how will we make a difference anyway? But consider this. Take a summer to get equipped. I'm not talking about suntans or hitting the gym. I'm saying take a summer to learn how to lead others to Jesus. That includes your family, friends, your coworkers, your world. And how exactly am I going to do that? Glad you asked. Try joining a Cru Summer Mission. You'll deepen your connection with God, build your character, experience rich community, and grow as a leader. Now, you may be thinking, I've got to get an internship before I join the workforce, or I don't want to be away from my friends. And here's the beautiful thing. You don't need to sacrifice one to have the other. Go on mission to the beach, or in the city, or at an internship, or even in another culture. After all, you're the future leaders of our companies, our cities, not to mention our churches. And that future is coming fast. So let's get out there and go for it. Cru knows college students. Cru knows missions. Do something extraordinary.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Summer Missions Ask Me Anything event. We are so excited that you are with us tonight. My name is Quinn. I'm on staff with Cru. I'm here at Ohio State. I work on North Campus and with Real Life. And whether you're with Cru Ohio State, Cru Columbus State, or Cru Central State, we are so glad that you are with us tonight. And I have a few friends with me here. Dre, she went to Virginia Beach and is going to Chicago this summer on summer mission. She is an intern here with us at Cru Ohio State. And Jano, he's on staff with Cru. He's been to Chicago several times, and he's going to Chicago again. And then Andrew, a current student who's going to Ocean City with us and has also been on summer mission. So we have a wealth of knowledge on summer missions. And again, we are excited to share with you because we think that this summer is going to be really fun. And will actually be, just like a great adventure with that. So with that, summer missions, the big point we want to make is that summer missions are happening this year, 100%. And we are specifically focusing on Ocean City, New Jersey, and Chicago. And these two summer missions have been happening for a while, and we've sent students there many, many years. And so we're really focusing on these. You can by all means explore other locations, but tonight just know we'll be talking about those two. Kind of the roadmap for tonight, we're each going to share a little bit of vision and some details about summer missions, and then we'll have a question and answer that Ask Me Anything time at the end. Also, you're probably wondering about the Starbucks $5 gift card. That will also be closer to the end. We're going to send out a survey that we'll ask you to fill out so we can get some contact information to be able to send you that digital gift card, as well as a few questions just to kind of gauge your interest for summer missions. And lastly, before we dive in, I'm sure many of you are thinking about COVID and living in a pandemic in the midst of going on a summer mission. Know that we are going to be safe, that we're going to be wise, and we're doing everything we can to have healthy summer missions. We do think that they're going to be really close to normal. It's amazing the progress we've had with vaccines and other measures. On summer mission, you can maybe expect mask wearing, social distancing, and other guidelines as we track with Cru headquarters, with the CDC, as well as local state guidelines for our locations. And so it's okay if you have specific questions, feel free to ask those towards the end tonight, or just text them in throughout. But know that we're going to be safe and healthy with summer missions. And so without further ado, why don't we dive in?
So as Quinn said, my name's Giano, and I'm going to be going and helping give leadership to Chicago this summer. This is going to be my 6th summer in Chicago, and it's just a city in a ministry and a summer mission that I've just really enjoyed in the past, and just really am on board with the mission there and just the history there and what God's done in the lives of not only staff but then students in Chicago. And so, this summer missions is something that we talk about a lot. I think it's one of the best things that we do as Cru. And so we're really passionate about challenging and recruiting people and students to go with us to different locations around the U.S., but then in normal summers even around the world. And so, it's just an opportunity for you to go, to be sent on mission, to to grow in your relationship with the Lord, to be an amazing community and make some really great lifelong friends, to be challenged and equipped in doing ministry and sharing your faith and leading small groups and just all of those things. But then just to also have an opportunity to do something really fun and go on an adventure during your summer. And so as you're going throughout your college career, there can be a big emphasis on getting an internship over the summer and really investing in your future career. And that's great. You need to do that. You need to look into your field and figure out, like, is this exactly the direction that I want to go or the field that I want to be in? And even internships a lot of times can provide job offers when you go to graduate and beyond college. And so that's great, and you need to do that. At the same time, Summer Mission is an opportunity for you to take one of your other summers to really invest in your relationship with the Lord, and invest in your growth and your development, and even invest your summer in God's hands, that He can use you in these different locations, in the lives of other students that you're interacting with, but then also in the lives of the people that you're interacting with on mission. And so even this summer can be an opportunity to do both of those things. Like if you already have an internship that's going to maybe be virtual, you can do that. You can come to Ocean City, you can come to Chicago and do your internship virtually, but then also be a part of the summer mission. Or if you haven't gotten an internship but you're looking for one, like you can begin applying in both of these locations to see if something's available to do both. And so either way, it's just as you go throughout your college career, like you have time over the summer to invest in your career, to invest in your relationship with the Lord, and this is an opportunity to do that. And I think something very unique for this summer, we're coming off of just a really hard year. There's been a lot of loss. There's been a lot of isolation and loneliness. There's been changed plans and just things have looked so much different, whether it's, your classes on campus to community on campus to ministry there's just been so many things that have changed and looked different. And so this is an opportunity to step out and really enter into a solid community of people that you're going to be living in close proximity with throughout the course of the summer. It's an opportunity to have a lot of fun and make a lot of really good memories. And I think also too, in the midst of this whole time, it's just I think there's just been a low, just sense of like really cool, awesome things that have been happening, and even maybe at times not feeling like you're seeing God move as much, even though that He still is. Just maybe those pictures of what that looks like just aren't as clear. And so this is an opportunity to step into something where you're going to see God work and move in your own life and the lives of others. And so, to step out of this, coming off of this really hard year, this is an opportunity to step into something that will provide you a lot more of opportunities and the things that I just mentioned. And so, so I'm looking forward to it. I would encourage all of you to consider coming, to consider going and being sent on mission and just really investing your summer with us. And so,
And friends, we do want to hear from you tonight. And so there will be a number on the screen throughout the night that you can text in questions after we get done presenting briefly here. If you have any questions at all about summer missions, please ask, and we will be sure to get to those and help you, clarify some things about summer missions for this summer. Because again, we would really love for you to come, so please reach out.
Yeah, thanks, Quinn. And so, as Quinn said earlier, I'm Dre. I work on West Campus and on Columbus State's campus. And when I was a student, I got to go on Virginia Beach Summer Mission. But this summer, you can catch me in Chicago. Woo, woo. So honestly, this is super exciting for me to get to talk about Summer Mission with you guys, because Summer Mission is a huge part of why I'm actually interning with Crew at Ohio State. I think that God just did some really cool things in my life over Summer Mission. He showed me what the community of God should be like. He also helped me experience just so much joy in reading my Bible and learning who Jesus is through Scripture. And then He broke my heart for those that don't know Jesus. And so I'm sure you guys are wondering, like, how does that happen? And so I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of a typical week and what it'll look like while on mission. So as Jano said, you guys will be able to get jobs. All national summer missions allow you to do that. And so, yeah, I got to work at a fun cafe, but maybe you'll get to work at a coffee shop or have an internship. I even knew someone who did some shadowing at a local veterinarian's office. So super exciting. But yeah, you'll work about 5 days of the week, and then most evenings you'll come back together as a group. And in that group, you'll get to do ministry training, you'll get to have Bible studies, worship, men's and women's times, community events, and some other fun things. But yeah, then on your days off, you get to engage in discipleship and spiritual conversations. For Ocean City, you may get to have spiritual conversations with vacationers and locals on the beach. While in Chicago, you might get to go to campus or throughout the city and start conversations wherever. Additionally, since we are really focusing on ministry within the workplace, you're going to get to build relationships with your coworkers, and hopefully those will lead to spiritual conversations as well. Yeah, my summer, it was super cool. Some of the students who worked at McDonald's actually got to share the gospel and get Bibles for several international students. Yeah, and then also I just kind of wanted to hit on another point that Jano made about, yeah, it kind of feels hard sometimes when you want to do an internship, but you also want to go on summer mission. You're probably thinking, like, how do these compare? And so, yeah, while you may not get the same experiences if you don't do an internship this summer, there are some really cool things that I found the Lord growing me in that are super relevant to wherever you end up in life. And so, yeah, with being on summer mission, every student gets roles that they get to participate in throughout the mission. And through those, you get to really work and grow in your leadership and interpersonal skills. And then also, you get to engage with people of all different backgrounds, ethnicities, cultures, and nationalities, which can help you grow in the ability to communicate and listen in cross-cultural settings. Yeah, and then you also get to live in close spaces. I got to live with 4 other girls in a pretty small room. But yeah, sometimes you run into problems in that and you have to resolve conflicts, which is a great interpersonal skill to gain. But it's also really fun. So yeah, I'm going to let Andrew talk about that.
Thanks, Dre. Yeah, so as Quinn said earlier, I'm Andrew. I'm a senior here at Ohio State. And I had the opportunity to go on summer mission at the end of my freshman year of college. And now as a senior, I have the opportunity to go as well to Ocean City, New Jersey, same place Quinn is going. And so, yeah, I just want to talk about a little bit about community and what to expect on a summer mission, because as I'm sure some of you are kind of wondering right now after we've kind of thrown a lot at you about summer mission, like what and how are we going to experience community on summer mission? Like, how am I going to find friends? How am I going to build those relationships? Because honestly, like when I went on summer mission, I didn't know anybody. I was the only person from the Midwest, and I was really scared about just how I was going to find friends, how I was going to fit in culturally, socially. And I can tell you, a few days into the mission, all those fears were wiped away, because the bond that you create with the people who you go on mission with is so unique. It's really hard for me to explain, but there's just something so cool about a group of dozens of college students going to a location together and sacrificing a whole summer, 10 weeks of their summer, to serve Jesus, share the gospel with people, and really step out of their comfort zone. And you have to really rely on each other and lean on each other, as I'm sure they can attest to. So yeah, I kind of want to tell you about one specific example of how community was fostered through my mission and how that can be the same for you if you do decide to go on a summer mission this summer. So yeah, one thing I did, one thing that I really needed to do to connect with people was invest in one-on-one time with people. So there was about 16 other guys on my mission, and one of my goals through the summer was to hang out with each of them for at least an hour and really get to know them and their life story. And doing that kind of led to these deeper conversations where I would go on hour-long, 2-hour-long drives. We actually ended up one time driving into another state accidentally, and we were just sharing about our lives and about the mission and how we can love each other better and how we can love the people on the mission better, and even got to hear some of their home stories and how they can love their families better and the people back on their colleges. And so it's just through like instances like that if you go on Summer Mission, there will be so many opportunities for that you'll experience, whether it's sharing on the beach or sharing at a college at Chicago or even on the beach at Chicago. You'll walk up to these random people with a group of 3 of the students on the mission, and out of nowhere, one of the other students, they're going to bring up a story from their lives that you had no idea about. And you'll be like, wait, I didn't know that about you. Tell me more about that after you're done talking to the person. And those conversations build friendships so cool. And so, yeah, as those are happening throughout the whole mission, that community really just fosters. And 2 weeks into the mission, I felt at home. And by the end of the mission, I can say that I had some of my best friends I've ever had. And many of them continue to this day. I still talk to them. And yeah, if you're not kind of doubting the community aspect and kind of doubting like whether that can actually happen for you, I want to say I was not lucky. I was not lucky that one year because I've been on other missions, and every single year is the same trend. Students don't know each other going into the mission, and by the end, you wouldn't even tell that. You would think that they had known each other their whole lives. It's so cool. I wish I could explain it even better, but really it's so unique and so personal that it's so hard to portray with words. So yeah, I hope that gave you a little bit of a glimpse into community. And I would actually challenge you to be the person who loves others. And if you do decide to go on a mission, just go out there, talk to people, have those conversations, and really learn to care for others.
Yeah, that's really good. So we've heard so far kind of some big picture vision for summer missions, as well as what's the day-to-day look like, what are the details, as well as some specifics that Andrew shared on community and the significance of community and how that really shapes us on mission. And really missions are all about, connecting with the Lord as we grow in our relationship with Him, connecting with others and growing in so many skills, but developing as a leader as well. Really the ways that we can grow on summer mission are pretty endless, but we can also have just tremendous amounts of fun in the midst of that. And so we're going to move now into our Ask Me Anything portion, our question and answer, and wanted to kind of start it off with a couple questions that regularly come up, just to give you some more time to write in some questions. We do have a few, but would love for a few more to come in. And so 2 big questions probably at the top of your mind are, how do I apply, or what does that even look like to apply? And how do I pay for this? What does that look like? And so applications are open, and you can go to cru.org/summer to find applications for all of the locations that Cru is sending to this summer. And as well, specifically for Ocean City and Chicago, you can go on our Instagram and go to our bio, and in the link tree, there's direct links to Ocean City and to Chicago for this summer. And if you apply, there's no commitment. You're just kind of working through the application process, and then you'll have conversations with staff to determine if it's a good fit for you to join the mission, and if it's going to work out with travel and different things. And so really the application process can be a good way to kind of search through some questions and be able to just kind of get your name in the system. And it's absolutely free to apply. And then the question of, okay, how do I pay for this? And so we, Cru, staff, and anyone who goes on mission, whether it's summer mission or spring break trips, even for winter conference, people raise support. And so that looks like sending out letters, making follow-up phone calls. And really, if you break it down, say it's like a $3,000 trip, if you sent out 100 letters and everybody gave $30, you'd have $3,000, which is pretty amazing. And so it's it's amazing to see the Lord provide in the midst of that. And so it can be a really faith-stretching journey, but Cru provides a tremendous amount of resources and guidance to help you to raise support. And so we know that we are with you, and we want you on mission if you decide to come with us. Also, if you decided to go on a summer mission last summer and raise support, that support can count towards this summer, and that's easy to transfer over. So you could already be $500 or $1,000 or more already prepared to come on summer mission. And so those are a couple of the big things. And so if you have any interest at all, please feel free to apply, and you can get so many questions answered from there. So we're going to dive into a couple questions, and I think I'll pass some of these off to my friends here as they come in. So the first one is is it possible / manageable to take online summer classes while on summer mission? I don't know if Jano, you've been on a lot of missions. Could speak to that.
Yeah, it's totally possible. I'm trying to think. I don't know if every single summer that I've done states or a summer mission as staff that we've had students have had classes, but there have been a number of summers where students had to take an online class on the side, and so it's definitely doable. Yeah, I think a lot of throughout the week, a lot of the morning, afternoon part of the schedule is working at your job, and so and then in the evenings is when a lot of the summer mission activities take place. And so I think it would just be kind of figuring out like, okay, when, and you may not, it may be a little tricky because you may not know exactly when the class is, but I think usually with a lot of online classes, there's a lot of flexibility. And so just kind of working that around the job that you do get, or, you know, maybe it's like, hey, I'm not getting a job, I'm taking almost even full-time online classes, just making sure that you kind of get those scheduled in the morning and afternoon. And then there's plenty of gaps in time to study and to do all the other things that you need. So yes, it's definitely
Cool. That's great.
manageable. Yeah.
So we also have a kind of in that same vein, a couple questions of, if I'm on summer mission, are there any opportunities that I could go home for like a weekend, or if I have something planned, maybe it's a wedding or a family event, could I go home for that? And the answer is kind of yes, but you have to work with the summer mission leadership on that. And so there is flexibility, but we really handle those by like a case-by-case basis. So know that it's still very much worth applying, and kind of submitting that like, hey, I have this event going on, or I have this family thing. Let us know of that, and we can work with you on what that looks like. But don't let that be an initial barrier per se. So another question is, maybe Andrew or Dre, you guys could take this. Is it a good idea to go after my freshman year, or should I wait until I'm an upperclassman?
Oh, it is so good to go after freshman year because, as you guys are, I'm sure, are aware, and it's probably happening to you right now, internships are really important as a college student in general. And as you get further in your college education, that internship opportunity is going to get even stronger after your sophomore summer, after your junior summer. And so I definitely went after my freshman year just because I didn't know if I'd be able to go after my sophomore or junior years. And thankfully I got lucky and I'm able to go after my senior year. But yeah, I would definitely encourage you to go after your freshman year, because also the kind of how Dre was talking about the interpersonal and leadership skills you're going to learn from summer mission, those are going to translate so well to the rest of your college experience, whether it's in your classes, whether it's in your crew movement or in a Bible studies. It's just so cool what it does. And I mean, my life was changed after my freshman year, and I would definitely not be in this position or in any of the other positions that I'm in if I had like waited and tried to go after my junior year, say. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and another question, should I wait to go on a more normal, kind of non-COVID summer mission in a future year, or should I just go this year? And so, yeah, I think this year will be very normal summer missions. Of course, there will be things that will be different, but I think we're going to be really close to being normal, and we're doing everything, again, that we can to be safe. But I think, I personally believe that God really has something special planned for us this summer. As things continue to get better with COVID, not discounting the really terrible things that have happened because of COVID and the ways that we've been lonely and isolated. But I think this summer is a really great opportunity to connect with others, to grow in ministry experience, to grow in work experience, and to engage with others like that. So I think it's definitely worth attending this year rather than waiting. A few other questions here. We have a lot coming in, so excuse me. So thanks for sending those in. A couple questions, if anybody wants to take this. Kind of some, barriers or worries, which are totally valid. What if I don't raise all the money, and what if I can't find a job or internship? You want to take those, or I can?
From the money standpoint, I think from my experience, and even like I've for a number of the summers that I've done summer mission as staff, I've kind of been in like the kind of operations finance role. And so an aspect of that is kind of like kind of helping with the support raising process. And normally, if you come on one of these summer missions, like we'll assign somebody to kind of help coach you over the next few months. Or maybe if you're already meeting with a staff person or know a staff person you can connect with, it'll kind of help walk you through this. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a student that's like really worked hard at it and like taken the steps that are there for you to take. And that's, sending out letters to family members, to people from your church back home, to high school teachers. Just kind of the aspect of it that you can control is sending out letters and giving people the opportunity to partner with you and to join in what you're doing for the summer. And yes, there may be some follow-up that has to happen, whether it's, calling people that you sent letters to or different things. But for the most part that I've seen, like those that put in the work and really do the things that they can control, I've never maybe seen situations where they've not raised all of it. And I think even too, I think it's easy to kind of have kind of a maybe not necessarily a narrow, but kind of a narrow grid in terms of like who could support me. I've seen countless cases where, people have sent a letter to someone that's not even a Christian or a high school teacher or something like that, and kind of said like, hey, here's an opportunity for me to grow in leadership and interpersonal skills and different things like that. And I've seen people like give, even if they aren't a Christian or necessarily understand fully the opportunity that person's doing. And then I think there's also times where, you can like send letters to your friends that are in crew here at Ohio State. You can send letters to your staff members. I think just like the number of people that I think that you can send a letter to or invite into this is larger than what you may think initially. And at the same time, like we're here to coach you through it, to kind of help you think of more people or other opportunities from, maybe asking churches or, there's just the possibilities are endless. And so I think, but as you're getting along in the process, there may be times where, someone's like, hey, I've exasperated all the options that I've had. That's where like the staff member or whoever's coaching you or other people you're connected with can kind of help you think through. I've even seen times where, a staff person that was like maybe coaching a student was like, hey, I'll send out a letter to my supporters, and then more support came in there. And even I think for a lot of us as staff, you can pretty much ask that like almost all of us, like a good chunk of the support raising that we've had to do came from people that we probably didn't know or hadn't met before we started the process. And so, there's always going to be ways that God provides that we don't expect. And so, there's some other opportunities in terms of, extra support that's from other students, but that's kind of the last option. And so,
That's great. Thanks, Jano. Yeah, and kind of the overall theme that kind of Jano expressed was that the staff leading these trips, even staff at crew campuses, are willing to help, and we want to help you. So whether it's raising the support, whether it's finding a job or internship, or even kind of there's another question about I'm a little worried about traveling there from my hometown because it's a long trip to these locations. Know that we're here to help, and we're going to make sure that we eliminate barriers and can help you get there and help you to get supported and everything with that. So one question, Dre, maybe if you want to get this one, what do weekends usually look like on summer mission?
Weekends are so fun. For me on my summer mission, I think we had like outreach days on Saturdays, which may change to some extent depending on which trip you go on. So we would like work. Saturday was a possible work day. So some of us would work in the morning and then we would get off of work early. And then there was one of the roles on the team was actually to come up with a way of doing outreach. And so, you're kind of like starting conversations in different ways every week. And that's really sweet. You get to really grow in that way. And just have fun conversations. Yeah, and then on Sundays were a day where we were all asked to take the whole day off. And so we would go to church. We would sometimes go out for a meal with our group that we were put in for church. Also, there are church partners in these locations generally. So yeah, the staff people for your summer mission will be putting you in groups to be able to attend those churches each Sunday. Yeah, and with that then too, in the afternoon, it's kind of like a space where you have time to do whatever you need to do. Sometimes you'll have time to meet with the teams that you're put in for those roles. And then we also actually ended up having community nights on our Sundays, which were also really fun. We did a $5 prom, so we all went to Goodwill and got some nice outfits, and then dressed up and danced. Yeah, I think Chicago has a traditional thing of playing a big game of kickball. But yeah, so you get to do some really cool things, and sometimes you just get to explore where the place that you're at or go to the beach. So yeah, the possibilities are pretty endless.
Thank you, Dre. Andrew, maybe a question for you here. Having been a student that's gone on summer mission, I think this is a great question. What does prepping for the trip look like? And kind of a follow-up, I feel like I have a lot more to learn about God before I can confidently share the gospel with strangers. So is there training? Do you have to prepare? Is there, kind of describe, does everything have to be in line for me to go on summer mission?
Short answer, no, you don't have to prepare. So when I went on summer mission, literally the first thing we did, and this was very nerve-wracking for everybody, was we went to the beach and we walked up to strangers and we asked if we could tell them about Jesus and learn about their life story. And it was so nerve-wracking, and I understand where you're coming from for sure. But honestly, it's so cool when you go on our mission, when you have the faith to raise all that money. God's going to provide for you on mission. He's going to give you words to say. He's going to give you things to talk about with people. And sharing your faith is a scary thing. I've done it for a few years now, and I think I'm good at it, but I'm really not. I'm still scared every single time going into it. But I just trust God that He's going to speak through me. You don't have to prepare. And even if you think you're not on the spiritual level that you need to be, don't think that, because God works in everybody's lives in different ways. He's going to work in yours in really cool ways if you go. Yeah.
I think even to add to that, there's also opportunities that we go out sharing our faith or do ministry in pairs or in groups, and if you don't feel confident right away, you can have a friend or a staff member that has done it. They can do it. You can watch and learn from them. And so on summer mission, we're never forcing you to do anything that you don't want to do. It's we're gonna guide you, we're gonna help you, but encourage you to take steps of faith in the midst of that. And so it's again, that community piece plays a huge part in growing in our relationship with the Lord and what we do on mission.
Yeah, and also it also doesn't just look like you go out and you just talk to people. We have so many tools. I won't name them because you may not know the names, but there's just different tools. There's one it's a playing card deck, and it really sparks spiritual discussions super easily. And especially on the beach and even in Chicago, just it's so diverse, and people are open to learning about new perspectives. And so it opens up really cool conversations.
Yeah, that's great. So we have one specific question here of what will housing situations look like? So the good news for Ocean City and for Chicago, Jano and I are both the operations leads for these missions, and so if you have even more specific questions, we can help answer those, because we're the ones setting up housing, working through the COVID guidelines and different things. I can speak for Ocean City that we're for students, we have 2 large beach houses that can hold 80 people each, which is, they're huge houses. But our mission, we're maxing out at 50 students, and so we won't be at full capacity because of COVID. And we'll be sure to have at most 2 people per room. We're going to have a quarantine location. And so things, again, will be safe. We'll be wise with that. But also these two houses are right next to each other, and we have like a big tent that's in like the middle area where we'll do a lot of things like outside. We'll eat meals outside, and the houses are like 2 blocks away from the beach. And so kind of essentially to sum it up, like our housing is really great. It's like you're living on the beach. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's great opportunities for community, but also it's really safe. And so it's going to work out really well. I don't know, Jano, you want to speak to Chicago?
Yeah, and kind of similar to what Ocean City is going to look like. Our housing maybe is a little bit different. Chicago stays, we're in, it's like loft-style apartments it's normally university housing for Columbia College that's in Chicago. And so it's like pretty nice housing for kind of like college, like a college dorm. And so, but even like specifically in that, like our group will be spread out amongst a number of different floors in the building. And even from what I've been told, their leasing and capacity is going to be way down this summer. And so even our group is going to make up a good chunk of who's going to be in the building in the first place. But then with that, it's like a lot of the apartments in the building have 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And so everyone's going to have their own bedroom and at most share a bathroom with one other person, and then you'll kind of at most share the common space in your apartment that has like a kitchen and a living room-ish area with 3 other people. So we're going to be able to spread out a decent amount. And then we're kind of working with like our own crew stuff, but then with the building itself in terms of some of the policies and different things in the building to kind of do this in a healthy, safe way.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, in general, I'd say it's pretty similar to Ocean City. So
Yeah, that's great. So a couple quick questions here. Do summer missions, are we going with other crew programs from other schools, or is this just Ohio State? Yeah, that's a great question. And so summer missions are open for any crew movement across the nation. And so currently for like Ocean City, we have students from Michigan, Illinois, Arizona. And so we have about 20 students that are accepted. And so, yeah, you'll get to dialogue with, grow with, meet students from all across the nation, as well as, Ohio State, Ohio University. And so it's a really unique dynamic with that.
Yeah, and going off that, how there's people from different states, it really gives you a really cool perspective crew, just as an organization, because right now it's kind of hard to kind of grasp that because we're just at Ohio State's campus or Central State or Columbus State. And just realizing that what's happening here is happening at hundreds of colleges throughout the United States and throughout the world is so cool to realize. And you'll hear about stories from other campuses, and some of those stories are really cool. So, yeah.
That's great. We had another question about I have to move back to campus pretty early in the fall. Could I leave the mission early? Again, that's a case-by-case basis thing, but please don't let that be a barrier. Leaving or whatever that may look like, or having a trip in the midst of it, please, apply and then connect with the leaders of that trip, and they will be happy to work with you on that.
And these two, they both end the first week of August, right?
Ours, Ocean City is May 25th to August 3rd. When's your?
I think Chicago's like just a week.
Okay. Week
later. Yeah.
So, all right. I think we have one last question, or two here, so a quick one. When is the deadline to apply? So there is no set deadline, but applications are open, and we say the sooner you apply, the better, because that allows you to get to talk to a staff quicker, to determine if you're can go on the trip more quickly or what that looks like, and then allows you to start raising support too. So if you're interested, I'd say apply this week, and then we can begin that process with that. And so, no specific deadline, but apply as soon as you feel led to apply. And then last question here, before we go to the survey. And what would be the difference between Chicago and Ocean City besides the location? So probably for Ocean City, we can kind of speak to these specifically. Ocean City, I think the big difference is a beach town versus a large city. For an Ocean City, and kind of provides different aspects with that. Ocean City, we have a boardwalk, we have a beach. That's where we do most of our ministry. The different jobs may look a little different. You'll be working at like restaurants or like an arcade or like things on the boardwalk, as well as you could have a virtual internship with that. And then Chicago, you're in a city. There's maybe some opportunities to get an internship with larger companies that have headquarters there, whether it's, it's Chicago. There's tons of companies, tons of opportunities with that. But overall, you're sharing on college campuses, kind of helping college movements that we're partnered with Cru to kind of grow their movements. Or maybe you're doing ministry in one of the large parks in Chicago or whatever that may look like. So the location determines quite a bit, but what is most similar is that there's community on both of these missions. There's times to be in a small group, to have a weekly meeting similar to our real-life weekly meeting. There's opportunities to have fun with other college students, and so to kind of engage with that. So probably the biggest difference, again, is the location and what that allows for us to do. But overall, they're both like great locations. So it's really kind of, do you like the city or do you like the beach more? And can kind of, decide in the midst of that. And so before we close, are there any last thoughts you guys would like to share, or before we go to the survey? Okay. Oh, Chicago, Dre says Chicago does have a beach. Navy Pier. So I guess, Chicago's pretty great, but we'd love to have you at Ocean City too. So yeah. Okay.
Well, I'll even say, I think even for me, I think I would rather be at the beach, but I think the food is a lot better in Chicago. So I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah. And I do want to say, so I can speak to Chicago a little bit. Just there's so much diversity there, and people are open to learn new perspectives, especially nowadays in the culture that has kind of been created over the past decade. So I think that's definitely a pro of Chicago. And then for Ocean City, people are going there on vacation and senior week. And then there's these international students who are coming here for the summer to work, and they want to learn. They want to learn English just simply. And then, people are just so open when they're just relaxing on the beach, and it leads to really cool conversations. So that's the pros of a lot of them.
Yeah, that's great. That's helpful. All right. So as we close here, there will be a survey on the screen for a link to go to where you can fill out a brief survey and your contact information so we can send you that $5 Starbucks gift card. And look for that early this week. We'll reach out and be sure to get that to you. And if you have any further questions, it's great to fill out that survey, and we will follow up with you on that. If you indicate, yes, I'd like more information about Ocean City, Chicago, or another location, we'll be sure to follow up and connect with you. And so thank you so much for joining us tonight. Take a few moments, fill out that survey. And again, we're really excited for this summer and what God can do, and we can't wait to see what He will do in our lives, and if you decide to join us, what He could do in your life. And please feel free to, if you decide to join us, to invite, to bring others with you, but know that this is going to be a really great summer. So thanks all.